Ezekiel thank God. Eezee Concept relationship with Mercy Chinwo with regards to her career as a gospel artist is indeed revealing more things that some of you would be so shocked as well to see. Now, based on my previous video before this one, my videos get long, I understand, because I have to face facts and be very detailed. Some people felt that I was being sentimental or I was siding Mercy Chinwo.
Why did you do that? Why did you do it?
Yes, Theo. The first video I made, of course, seemed as if I was siding Ezekiel. What is the record label for? Just for name, signboard. What do they exist for? How do they make their money? That's why if you can do it as an independent artist, please do it. Even though the assumptions I made in the first conversation became what we saw in my third conversation of Mercy Chinwo's response, or would I say legal counsel's response, in her voice with respect to what happened between her and Eezee Concept. One of the details Mercy Chinwo revealed was this: he brought documents in the mid-year of the contract that she needs to sign to help recover her revenue from publishing as songwriter. Yet, he falsely listed himself as the writer of her song to receive revenues as both writer and producer. He refused to remit her a penny from the publishing revenue for the past 7 years. From inception till date, Minister Mercy didn't make it an issue. And I had to take a deep dive as well to really see if what she was saying was correct. Because one thing I can say for a fact is that Eezee Concept is a wise businessman, and I'm not surprised by what I'm seeing. We are going to be talking about his person, Don Jazzy, of course. Not as if I'm dragging him, but using him as an example in this conversation. Also, we are going to look at the producer who claimed he produced Excess Love with Mercy Chinwo when he was actually speaking about that on Honest Bond's podcast 9 months ago. That was last year.
Understood. Take care and enjoy your time with your audience. I'm here if you need any further assistance later.
No problem. This video is going to be a little bit quite interesting. If you have the time, relax. Let's get straight to details. Now, some of you remember the face of this man who claimed to have been part of Eezee Concept, at least in the starting phase. Now, we are going to listen to him together, because the things he says here becomes a foundation of our discussion today, so that we can really understand the person Eezee Concept. Headphones on, let's listen.
And it would help us in the course of the conversation. It is clear now that there are so many people involved in this, a lot go into it by term of maybe investment, and there's an expectation in the end. But it be like, say, that term, gospel, when people talk about gospel, it's always the truth. You know, when they say gospel, you know, people expect something different, something extraordinary. Before we proceed further, I would like to ask, does the term gospel change anything? For example, when we say, oh, this is the gospel industry, does it change anything? Does it make it any more different from anything? The weight of expectation, does it make it even more than any other industry? Because that word that is there and special to so many people, gospel, is attached to it.
Well, they say the church is like a hospital where mad people, people will get sense there. So the way it is, you can expect anything from the gospel industry.
You can expect anything
from the gospel industry.
Now, at this point, I want to say something. So for those who are not aware, Judy K has backed off the whole litigation and the whole drama between her and her former record label. And I would understand with her, which I think is the right thing to do. As Christians, this whole battle back and forth and going to court, I talked about this in my first video, is not the right way. There should be an alternative dispute resolution. Indeed, I would say. Her ground for letting everything go is something I do respect, of course. So, Judy K, if you and your fans are watching this, you did well, I would say. Money is a conversation. You will go higher, you will make more. Your gift will always make way for you. Whatever happened with you and Eezee Tee, life happens. We learn every day, and human beings will always be human beings. Let's listen to him as well, because what he says becomes a foundation of my investigation. I'll be sharing my facts with you.
See, they feed on you street.
For gospel industry.
Still they tell you, say they give you platform and privilege.
Wow, then go run you street for the gospel industry.
He let you know, say that they give you platform and privilege. It go be like, say, you know they do anything we make sense.
How?
Because let me take case study of, I guess some instrumentalists where they out there. You get some producers where they out there, minus me.
Okay.
We don't produce big songs, won't I know. I don't go mention name and I don't go mention anything. But when you see the way they suffer, those producers, they no resemble the songs than way they don't do.
Wow.
Wow.
Some instrumentalists will be saying I then go create syncopation for song where artists go shine. Everybody go say, that guy and his team is deaf. When you go back, some of them, even when they are band leaders, even when the instrumentalists give them paper, say they want to start up something, they know they help them. They depend on the way the team be now. You see that money where they pay you for that gig, now the only money where you get. Any other extra thing, concern anybody. Except for some good individuals we just get that good heart to say, okay, this person. Say one person a good person, a good person.
Yes.
So except saying that those kind of individuals who go just come out and say, this person don't deal with me for some time, make I just help him. Apart from that, he go suffer past Job.
Wow.
I don't understand. Sorry. Which means the gospel industry, where would they see? Not be waiting, it really be in the outside. Because if you say...
And before, as we get to continue, I want to just make this comment. What the drama you see happening right now, I only see one agenda in it. And that is a means to secularize. If the gospel industry is not already secularized, of course, with the things I see and the music I see. But anyway, there's a different idea to that when it comes to different kind of music that we have. This whole drama with someone like Mr. Chinwo, I see it to be clearly an attack on the gospel. You might look at it spiritually. You might look at it just normally with respect to the credibility the gospel saying should hold compared as well to the secular, because we see some of these kind of things happening in the secular music industry. So if that is happening in the gospel music industry, what does that say? It's going to be more like, indeed, we are dealing with human beings, whether you are spiritual or whether you are secular. So that's what I'm seeing here, there being that level pegging. But I believe that there being a gospel music industry, we should actually be an example as well for others to follow. Not just in our music, with respect to the lyrics and what we put out there, but also in our conduct. This exposition that is coming out is not commendable at all. So let's go on.
Correct me. You produce Excess Love, you produce Boy Kondo, you produce... I beg, give me a list of the songs.
Omeka Naya.
Omeka
You
Naya.
dey bless me on a regular. Receive it is your inheritance in Christ. I produce You're an Incredible God. Incredible God for Message. All these songs now produced for Message.
Okay.
Okay, so for those who will not have a time to watch to the end, if you are getting the summary of this whole conversation at this point, what you have to know is that of all of these songs that he claimed that he produced and was active, of course, in the production of it, I have to quote him. I had to do a check myself to see if his name was really there, but the person's name I found in the co-writer, or would I say as a producer of the song, is Eezee Tee himself, Ezekiel Tangod. So he put Mr. Chinwo's name and his name as songwriters, and then he now put his company as a publishing company. I'll take my time to discuss what that implies, but if you don't want to continue watching, what he's saying right here as well is true. I took time as well to understand, to verify if what he's saying is true or not. That is what I do here. And I will show you how I do everything, and you will also be able to do the same thing. So if you are watching this video and you are someone signed on to a label, or you are a music artist or something under a label, you can be able to do these checks by yourself, as I'll take my time to teach you that, and you'll be able to know if what you are doing has a future when it comes to publishing. Remember, I took time to explain for you in the first video the difference between publishing rights and then the one that comes as well from the masters. We have the mechanical royalties, and then we have the composition royalties, which has to do with the publishing. As I'm even giving you these technical words, if you're someone in the music scene as well, or someone you should be able to take note of them and Google as well to understand about your craft. It's not just going into a studio to record a song and do TikTok dance and everything. You could be losing a lot of money if you are someone that wants that gift of singing to make way for you. So you have to understand some technical things I would be explaining today in this video. So that is just it. If you just understand this right now, it's a summary of the video. But let's go on to listen to him. Then I will now start explaining things one by one.
But if I tell you waiting don't happen behind the scene, you go know say I never even see better waiting be 5 million.
What happened behind the scene? Let us know what happened behind the scene.
Okay. Carona, go back to 2016.
Okay.
2016, I got signed into Eezee Concept
Okay.
as a music producer.
Okay.
Note, he got signed into the label as a music producer 2016. Okay, Mrs. Singwood signed her contract with Eezee Concept 2017, even though she has been working with him or being a backup singer with him for a long time. Okay, like we looked at in our previous video. Let's go on.
So before that time, Messi never really come into Eezee Concept. So me and my then boss, we agreed say, I've been there on my own.
Okay.
They work, they try to see how I go fit take care of family and all those kind of things. Now that same place when I did, now where I train on my lane, I train on my lane music production.
Okay.
Nice.
Wow.
Nice.
Wow.
Interesting.
Nice.
As in, this one I just hear it for the first time.
Big
Go on.
name.
I mean coach Prince Emmanuel, music production.
Okay.
You get plenty young boys there when I don't help for Port Harcourt where I did.
Okay.
So when I
Note, Port Harcourt. So remember when they signed the first contract in 2017 with Messi Chingo, it was in Port Harcourt. So we'll be making correlations, okay?
did that studio, I did try the hustle, the grind. I can't follow one of my uncle go Eezee sister wedding. So now there is the sister who hold me whole Eezee. I don't know what she tell her for here. So after everything, Eezee can't say, make we work like partners.
Okay.
So waiting no day this Christendom na partnership. So you see waiting Don Jazzy. That time Don Jazzy and Yanya being
Yes.
Instead that kind of thing, say you go nice, say make we do something like that.
And that's also the reason I had to, because he mentioned Don Jazzy when I was watching this earlier, I had to now go and investigate Don Jazzy's relationship, of course, with his artists like Rema. So some things I uncovered, quite interesting, but let's go on.
And I was like, okay, that's a very fantastic idea. I did the creative space. You already don't work with people we get pedigree. So you go easy say if two of us work, you go bam.
Talking about working with people that have pedigree, evidently you could also see here that Frank Edwards has been with them from the beginning. Like you see him post here, November 12, 2017, that moment where your boss shows up surprisingly to further commission, endorse, train, and bless the work of your hands. Hashtag Eezee Concept, hashtag Eezee Concept, celebrate you, thank you sir, thank you boss, Frank Rich Boy. We had an educative period with you, sir. Thanks for your continuous support, sir. Frank Rich Boy. So I'm just showing you as well here, right from there. Now, note, Messi Chingo signed her contract September, 2 months before now, to be part of Eezee Concept. Let me show you another thing again. If you look at this post here, it's in November 2017. This was when he was recording a song, of course, for Messi Chingo. Come on, not much attention, of course, 7 views. Let me play it for a moment for us to listen.
So fast forward, we can't talk finish, can't agree to work. So him can bring MOU now. So that we go fit get
Written agreement.
No be agreement. Oh.
Memorandum of understanding.
Yes, now memorandum of understanding between staff and
Yes.
So when that one can happen, we write paper finish, sign finish. In console, okay, so we go to work on percentage for any customer we come. See, this one on my court, this one on your own court.
Okay.
The two of us go bring our court to run logistics for the company.
Okay.
We agree. We start to fire down.
Does it make sense what he said here? So a customer comes, they get to make a song for the customer. So it's more like whereby, let's say you are a songwriter of a song and then you have a song, you go to a studio, they give you beat or something, you pay, and then they are more like a third party you are hiring to make a song. You pay them for what the services, of course, they have rendered, then you go with your song. Just customer comes, does a thing, and then they record for you. That is it. We go with your song or something. Then the customer maybe can do whatever with the song that kind of thing. That's what I'm understanding with what he's saying. Okay, but let's go on as well to where Mercy Chinwo comes into the picture. Remember, he is a producer for that particular Eezee concept. Just like this guy, if you look at your screen now as well, this person, I discovered him when I was doing my investigations as well about their current artist, Labisi, and I could see as well his name was in the split sheet with respect to the publishing as well, which I found. And he's also, I think he works with Eezee Concept. I'm guessing so because he follows Eezee Concept, and I see him, of course, in their studio. So there will be other people as well that are active in the production of music, of course, when it comes to the record label activities. So note at this point, he is the one that is active in the production aspect of the music, not like Eezee Tee is the one that is producing. Have that at the back of your mind because he gets to explain more details on that.
So when Mercy come, in come tell me say, Mercy na person will be say all of us go use Faji.
That's Mercy Chinwo.
Yes, that's Mercy Chinwo.
Okay.
He say Mercy na all of na person will be say if me, her, and Mercy put heads together, work on something, all of us go later enjoy. You know, boy, we dey naive that time.
You
I don't know
understand,
wetin be contract. I don't know wetin be all those things. But I mean, just get hope say anyhow, if I hustle, anyhow, later my family, everybody go do all right.
You understand what he's saying now? So it agrees with what I said in my recent video, the third one I made on this subject, that Mercy herself was more like the cash cow. She was like the foundation, the beginning of this whole record label thing, their major hits. It makes sense as for why he wanted to sign her for a longer time, because she was really, really instrumental in the success of the record label. I don't know if you understand. And for him to be saying that as well here, it makes sense with her personality. That's why she's very key, or she was very key. Let's go on.
Understand? So we can't put in the work. That time I dey go visit my house. I know they live for my house.
You lived in the studio?
Yes. Me and Mercy Chinwo, we dey sleep by 5 a.m. Wake up by 7 a.m. Start working again till 5 a.m.
Chineke
2
me.
hours.
Wow.
So we run that marathon for like 3 months, back to back. I said I dey go visit my house. I no tell you, so I dey go sleep for my house. So now there we work all these songs and come out. Guy we dey naive now, we just want something bright for himself. All my hope now be say that time they tell me say after the work on Mercy project, I dey get some kind millions, I dey get some kind, you know, you dey happy say you dey work, say the also way they put in,
He go pay.
Only for one day, I complain say I no well. Say I want go house, go rest. They say, well, I want go house. I say, make I still stay for studio. I say, no, sir, not too well. Mercy Chinwo know that around that time.
Okay.
So my boss can't give me space, make I go house. Only for me to go reach house. The following day, first thing in the morning, he call me. That day when I asked him, I say, make him give me money, make I use buy medicine or something. He say, no get money, only 1,000 naira. And give me.
And that time, I never released any of the songs.
No, we never release.
Okay.
So he can't give me the 1,000 naira. I carry go house. So I carry go house now. The following day, he call me up. Say, how far? I say, I did. He say, make I come studio. I say, boss, but I tell you, see, I know where. And you know, if I even ask me how I
body
cope. Say, which kind of nonsense? Say, no be work, all of us, they try work here, make all of us do all right. I say, Baba, consider me. You know.
3
I don't
months,
be
back to back.
Back to, you know, easy. So now he come tell me, say okay. Say, hi, I did. I say, I do all right. Say, what I don't buy medicine. I say, yeah, say the nurse where they close to me, because I get one pharmacy where they close to. So I say, the nurse where they should actually give me some medication on credit. So I even call my mother so that she will send me money for food.
Wow.
But wait,
To
not
that
very soon.
level,
All this time when you do 3 months, 5 a.m. to 7, you know they collect salary.
I know they collect any salary. They tell me, say, you know, when you just they work, say,
They hope.
say money day for system. Say by the time Mercy big, everybody
Continue.
go
Continue.
dey alright.
Say you call your mama. Continue.
So you see, so he wasn't earning any salary. Now, the reason why I'm playing this video is because I know for a fact those who are working with Eezee Tee now, you people are watching this video, okay? Those who are producers in other music labels or something, you are watching this video, okay? So we also have to learn from this. So he wasn't being paid, according to his claim, he wasn't being paid a salary. It was more of like a seed. So They just want to work towards a product as foundation members, if I'm to say so, to see a future, of course, in it. So come on, salary was not, because nothing was really coming out substantially yet at that time. Do you understand? Let's go on.
So when I call my mother, I can't explain the whole thing to my mother. My mother can't send me money. I used to buy food. I can't buy food. Now after I buy food. So him now can't tell me, say, but how I did? I say, I just start medication today. Say, but hopefully, as the day
better
goes, say, I go do better. Can start to chat me up. Can they tell me, say, no, they like the way I dey behave. I say, boss, how I dey behave? I don't dey faithful. You know, say me, I be loyalist. If I dey for you, I dey. Can they talk? I dey tell them some of the things when they do me for office, when I know like.
Okay.
They try to express myself. Imprint our full chat. Go my mother house. Go meet my mama.
Now, at this point as well, I was now thinking, what if this is a very intentional strategy, a pattern? Look at the pattern with the Judy K we mentioned as well recently. Him releasing a video of them having a meeting where she was saying that no issues with the records, everything as evidence. But even the date of which that particular video was said to have been recorded was false. And Judy K came to say, no, we didn't have this meeting in 2024. Last time that meeting was around 2023, not 2024. Very intentional, very demure. You now look at, of course, when it comes to him and then Messi Chinwo's altercations, whereby he started, thwarting her meetings and trying to more like put a delay tactics with her recording her last album, okay, so that the time would also exceed the contract time, or stopping her from going for shows. If I'm secular, I would say shows, or what I say going for administration. Again, as well here, very, very tactical, very demure. So if you look at this as well here, was this intentional against the hope he sold to him for a possible future with respect to what he was doing with Messi Chinwo, to really cause an issue between two of them as foundational members, or would I say partners, if I'm to use that word, with respect to what happens now? Let's go on.
Can't show my mother our chat. You got one question my mother asked her. My mother tell her, say, the first day you come my house, you say Roy dey like younger brother to you. If you and your younger brother get issue, you go call him as an elder brother. Sit him down.
Talk to her.
Talk to her. Tell her, say, this thing we dey do.
I no like
him. So some of the people we go my house with, when they want talk, he go shut them up. When they want talk, he go shut them up, according to the gist way my mother tell me. So when he shut them up, finish, my mother comes after everything, then come go. So luckily for me, all this time now, all this thing they happen, Messi, SS Love, don't they peak. So luckily for me now.
For us to understand the timeline of the young man saying that the song was already peaking, note, the song was released long before July 2017, because according to Dr. Roy's posters at then, people were already having testimonies from the song. So he really tested the waters indeed to really see if, it is a worthy investment or something. He saw her glory, saw her talent, saw her potential after making a song with her, releasing it and seeing that testimonies are coming from it. Like you see, even Dr. Roy himself right here, the testimonies from this song are amazing. If you haven't downloaded it, do that now. And I was now wondering to myself, indeed he saw something in her. No wonder he would tell Dr. Roy that, hey, Messi Chinwo is someone that is going to, change things as well for us. So they had to really work timelessly as well for what happened with her. So this is what I'm thinking. This is my own theory. If Messi Chinwo was allowed to just stay and make music, I don't know if she paid for her studio session, but of course they had a good relationship before this time. Who knows who else might be coming to sign her? So they just had to come up with something to sign and then keep her officially, of course, in the label. I don't know if it makes sense, because indeed she wasn't just like a customer. She was someone that was like a daughter to him, if I'm to say so. And then he saw that things are happening, so let's make it official, which I think was just a smart move of him. But my own problem right now is, aside the whole, timeline, which I just noticed, the whole issue right now is the contract of 2017. if he's someone that is that good with keeping details and keeping records, he knows what she signed in 2017. So this is what I'm thinking. Maybe, according to Mr. Chinwo, they signed in the presence of a particular pastor. Maybe he told the pastor who is his pastor. They did the whole thing, called him, called the pastor. Both of them signed in the presence of the pastor. And then the pastor had to keep the contract as someone they trust. So I'm now asking myself a question. Maybe she not going with a copy. She didn't have to think about that then, because probably she was just making music because she loves it. I'm just saying, because in her rebuttal, she didn't mention the fact that she took a copy or she lost her copy. She just said that the copy was with the pastor. But can that same pastor, whom I have shown you his picture before, and I've seen him, of course, in many of their gatherings, can that same pastor in Port Harcourt really say to himself as a pastor, man of God, that that was what she signed in 2017? Because she only realized that when she came to get the copy, when issues started coming up, only to find out that there are some things that don't look like it is what she did. And remember, Mr. Chinwo is saying that there is no original copy of what Eezee Tee has posted and shared as their contract anywhere. So Eezee Tee, you are sharing a photocopy online. Why are you not sharing the original? Because it should be really, really evident. So Eezee Tee knows exactly what he's doing, and that 2017 contract may reveal even more than what you are even talking about today. This is a long thing, but let's get back to the studio.
I get friend with dey inside the office. We be say, me I be person wey be say, if you dey my body, everybody know say he dey. If you know dey, everybody know say he no dey. So now that my friend come dey tell me say they plan to give you suspension. Say boss say you dey act up the way we no like. So when me I come hear the jege now, me now I can't go write letter of resignation. So even if the thing want to cause problem,
everybody go your own way.
Now, when I write letter of resignation, I can't come office to submit it. When I submit the letter, I read the letter finish, say no be me write the letter. All this thing when I talk, I get proof of everything. I read the letter finish, say no be me write the letter. I say, boss, whether I me write letter,
I be no be me write letter. The content of the letter,
my resignation letter finish. I collect the resignation letter. I say, okay, no wahala, now we go see. I go house. I think some days after, maybe 1 week after, then call me, say, make I come office. When I come office, they come tell me, say, they don't review my resignation letter. Say, but you get one other paper I go sign for them. Me, I don't know the content. Waiting in my mind now to just come out from company. Say, you get one other paper I go sign for them. Say, now that paper now, and then go use settle me.
So that's it. So this was where he made a mistake. You see, we also need to learn from these kind of things. That was where he made a mistake, because what he signed, whatever he signed in that particular paper, was more like him categorically, in a way, signing away his publishing rights, or right for him to even have a publishing split, if I'm to say it that way, because that can be used as a justification for why his name is not in the publishing split. And I'm going to show you as well why his name is not there as we get to go on. So he just wanted to leave. But I was now asking myself, for you to be a producer, and you have taught people like Omale and Prince as well, you have mentioned, didn't you have the education with respect to that aspect of publishing when it comes to royalties? Now I have to state this categorically, okay? If you compare the royalties from composition and the one from the actual song, the one from the composition is always way less. But there is always a provision for that particular earning, even though you might have your, let's say for some of you that are independent artists, you use DistroKid and some other ones as well to, distribute your songs. Even in the distribution as well, there is always that provision that is there as part of your earnings when it comes to the composition rights, the publishing royalties. So if you have not done the publishing royalties with either ASCAP or BMI or CSEC, then it's actually important that you have that in place, at least from now. I'm just talking to those who are quote-unquote independent artists who are not signed onto a record label. But I'll talk more on that as we get to go on. So probably what he was doing then was just people come to his studio, he will help them produce song, collect his charge, give them the song, and then they go. They can decide to do whatever with the song. He has collected his cut for the song. So maybe that was what he understood when it comes to music production per se, if I'm to say it that way, because he's supposed to know about those publishing split thing, but I think he was unaware. information is actually important. That's what something I like to share here on the platform. Let's go on.
So now they can't give me check of 140,000 naira. Now the only money I see for Mercy first album, 140,000 naira.
140,000.
Finish. Now the only money I
3 months of not sleeping.
It don't go 1 year like this. Oh.
Jeez.
It don't go 1 year. All this already talk, it don't go 1 year.
And no salary.
Nothing.
And you put in your money to some production.
No, besides I put in my money. You know, say that time now when you dey work now with other clients when no be in-house artists.
Yes.
Some percentages where they call. You go they collect money, they still buy fuel, they run some kind things. My brother, only 140,000 naira. When they give me that check, I go my house, I look the wall where they for my house, I cry. I cry because you know what TB for you to don't put in work. You dey expect say with this work, everybody for your family could do all right.
It's okay. It's okay.
I cannot see man cry. But this is also something we are going to be understanding deeper in this video. So it's going to be interesting, of course, for those who don't have an idea of how these things work. So with respect to what he's saying now, it really does make a lot of sense understanding the personality of Eezee Tee, which I would say that I actually had to sit down and watch the progression of how he has been really dealing with, at least publicly, like I would know, the publishing rights, okay, the composition rights, the royalties that comes from that. Like I say, it's not something huge, but if you have a very big hit that is everywhere and all that, the money could also be significant. So this is how I understand him. At least as at that point, his idea would be to have this kind of company, Eezee Concept, have people who are working for him as producers, paying them their salaries as if they're working like, okay, you're just working. But when it comes to the actual paperwork of registering the song, distributing the song, because Eezee Concept registered himself on the PROs, you'll be hearing, I'll be taking time to discuss about that, but PROs are just like saying performance rights organizations. So they get to track wherever your music is being played, either on radio, on TV, live performance, public plays. Some of you don't know about these things, but they track it and then make sure that you get your royalties on that if you are registered with either BMI, ASCAP or CSAC. CSAC is more private. That is the one that Maven Records, of course, gets to use. That one is private. You can only be invited. But ASCAP and BMI are very popular. There are other ones as well, but I'm looking at the standard one. So Eezee Concept is registered as a publisher on ASCAP. They only have to pay a one-time fee of $50 and that's it. But you are registered there as a publishing company. Now, why am I saying this? Eezee Concept, including himself as both publisher and also writer of a song, I think is greedy. What I'm saying right now is just for those who don't have the time to watch videos and see facts. So I have to just tell you without showing you or something. Then I'll show to those who have the patience. Every song that Eezee Concept has with any of his artists like Mercy Chinwo, Judy K, GUC, even Labisi, he adds his name there as part of the songwriters. Now, what ASCAP, for example, because he's a member of ASCAP, what ASCAP recognizes are writers and publishers. But depending on when a music is being made, in the composition of the song, remember, we are looking at performance. Remember, we are looking at performance rights organizations right here, the composition part of the song. Let me try to explain this, of course, clearly. I shouldn't be talking about this now, but again, before we go on with the video, let me just say it now. Imagine if you are trying to cook egusi soup. You have pepper, you have your egusi, you have your vegetable, you have your onions, you have your meat. Those ingredients you see that you are supposed to use for the cooking of the egusi is just like saying the composition. So we have the songwriter, the artist, we have the producer, and those who are significant in the making of the pot of soup egusi. I like egusi, that's why I'm using it as an example. So just imagine what I'm saying. Good. So when you are now, the pot of soup egusi becomes the masters, or would I say the product of these ingredients that were nothing except they are being put together. So the masters, which is the pot of egusi that comes out of the cooking, belongs always to the record label. That is their product. That's when we talk about the masters, the recording. That's the one that is being put on DistroKid and some other platforms, or maybe if you are using Sony, any distribution company that you work with, they make sure the music is on Spotify, SoundCloud, Apple Music, everywhere, and they track that as well, getting you the revenues that come from that particular distribution. I don't know if it makes sense. But when it comes to the composition, if you are registering for the composition, or would I say the performance rights organization, the PROs that are being called, what you register there is the name of the soup, which is going to be the name of your song, the ingredients, which are going to be who the songwriter is, who the producer is, all of that. But what the BMI or the API recognizes, listen, are writers and publishers. So when you are doing that registration, because I understood where Messi Chinwo really had a misunderstanding there, because even though his name is listed as writer of the song, indeed, and she has her unique IPI number, which I'm going to take time to explain as well, him being listed as a writer is just like saying him being listed as a producer of the song, even though he's not the writer. Like you just heard the young man, of course, express that he himself, like you heard the young man, of course, express that he was the one that produced the song, staying all night with her. He never mentioned the person of Eezee Tee, but Eezee Tee is the one that runs the place. He is the one that owns the place. So what Eezee Tee in his mind, as at this time, was hire people who are going to work for him, probably pay them salaries, of course. That's what they understand. And because they are not privy and don't know about this back end kind of stuff, when he's now registering the song for publishing, he puts his name as the producer, because there's no place for you to write producer, there's no place for you to write guitarist or whatever. So, but Eezee Tee's, I would say his greed is that he's registered, his company is there as the publishing company, and then his name is also part of the name of those who have written the song. If it is not greed, Eezee Tee, why would you put your name as part of the writers of a song, even though technically it should be like producers or something, but you put your name there instead of putting the name of the producer that actually worked on the song with the lady, contributing, of course, to getting the rights from that. So, because when it comes to the distribution of the rights for the music, look at the picture you see in front of you. Good. So what happens is that when the publishing royalties get to come in from the song, however is being tracked behind the scenes, the system, of course, ASCAP, which he is part of, gets to pay the writer and the publisher. Normally it is 50-50. But if you are registering your song on ASCAP, you can register as both the writer and the publisher, whereby you get 100% of all of the earnings. Okay? So in this case right now, when he puts his name as a writer, also with the original singer, Messi Chinwo, I'm going to expose something I found quite interesting, especially with that particular song, Excess Love, which blew. When he put his name as a writer, as well as Messi Chinwo, together with him being the publisher. So he's going to be earning as a publisher 50% of the revenue that comes, and also he's going to also share from the 50% that's supposed to go exclusively to the writer or writers. If it's just one person that wrote the song and the person's name is there, only that person is supposed to get the other 50% of the revenue that comes. But he also gets to share from that particular revenue that also goes to the person that wrote the song, or would I say the artist. That particular revenue is supposed to be the artist and maybe the producer or others who contributed to that particular song. Does it make sense? So he was earning from both sides, as a company being the publisher 50%, and also as the music writer, in this case as a producer. So with respect to what he is saying, his name was not there. I saw it myself. Does it make sense? You know, here is facts over sentiment, but I'm going to show you right now. I don't want to be visual, but I want you to just be able to imagine what I'm saying, so that when I'm showing you as well, it's going to make sense. Okay? But let's go on as well to listening to him.
Okay. It's okay, my brother. It's okay. 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 I feel your pain, my brother. I feel your pain. It's okay.
They can't give me the table and the chair away. I've been carry come the place before, because I've been use some of my things then there. So when they give me the table and chair, as I come back house, I carry the chair and the table, throw it outside.
You don't do. It's okay, my brother. It's okay. Calm down. Calm down. It's okay. Just breathe in,
Sorry,
breathe out.
I'm sorry.
The chair throw away and the table throw outside because I was like,
They make you remember things where you don't want to
you
remember.
understand? If you don't put in this kind of work, no be this kind of thing we're
But they're
supposed to come out for you now.
yes.
So after that time, we no con the talk. So luckily for me, I get some persons for my life where they respect where people like okay, so okay, Mommy Tokpe. So I can't explain everything to Mommy Tokpe. Mommy Tokpe did like my godmother.
Who be want to talk about that? Talk about Labi.
No. Moso. Una no go sabi her.
Okay.
So she and her husband, they like my godparents.
Okay.
So any issue I get, if I talk to them, I go talk to Okisuke because Okisuke and another person where they like brother to me.
Yes.
So when I explain everything to her, Okisuke come tell me say man come Lagos. Saying get one or two persons that when he fit put call across.
Okay.
We go help me see whether I fit get publishing
Okay.
or royalty
From the songs.
from the songs. So I can't enter Lagos. So when I enter Lagos now, Okisuke come carry me go meet Milamix. Milamix come introduce me to P Prime.
Okay,
lawyer.
P-Prime, yes.
P Prime lawyer, Jumoke. So Jumoke come write to Eezee. Tell her say she did write because of my own court of waiting don't happen. You no reply to the mail. Later, I come meet Akiemi. Akiemi law. Akiemi come still write to Ram too. Tell her say how far this guy, this thing. He no respond. So one of the days we come meet for Port Harcourt when he come gig. So apart from all this,
And I want to say something as well. Even if they wrote to Eezee Concept, okay? And so far as his name was not included in the publishing app initio, okay? It will be left for his own volition to actually say, okay, my name is there as a producer or as a writer. However, he was thinking when he put his name as writer. I explain this right now, okay? For him to say, okay, as a good person, I'm going to take whatever I have earned as my name is there in that song or in those songs as the producer or co-writer. I'm going to take those monies and then give to you. But clearly as well, from what he gets to say right here, it was intentional that Eezee Tee wanted him to be out of the pie that comes with what he has worked for. Had it been he had paid him a salary or something during that time, soft landing, but for him to pay him off with 140,000 at that time, he might be justified in his conscience that, okay, I have paid him for this quote-unquote gig. But where is that Christ-likeness in you? Shebi, it is you that was quoting Bible. You post Joshua Sermon the time that Mercy Chinwo left and was talking about those who are rebellious or whatever. Eezee Tee, Ezekiel, search your hearts. Nekenegodo biggie. If you I saw what you were doing with the whole church industry, and then you called out people that their name is your name is not in publishing. It's not. We are going to go into looking at that. And those people as well, those of you who are working with him, you also have to check yourself, track yourself so that you know. Some of them I know that they are also part of BMI. Some of them are in ASCAP. Some of you are no entity. Some of you don't even have your IPI number, even though you might see your name to be there or something. Check here those things. All the very important. But we'll go into showing you those receipts. Right now, I'm just talking for those who just are listening so that those who are more visual would see what I'm discussing about. So at this point as well, I find it quite disturbing with what I have found out, of course, looking at what he's saying now. But let's continue.
things wey don't happen. I don't still tell am. One of the days I call and tell am say, no matter wetin happen between me and you, we don't work before. We fit still dey work again. No matter how it be, we could just forget everything wey don't happen.
Yes,
see how
we go fit take forge ahead.
So all these things now waiting. I don't try to communicate to him. Tell me, say, I cannot worry. Say, the first time when I tell him about publishing, he say whether I sabi waiting be publishing. He say, now he go teach me waiting be publishing.
Sorry, was your name on the album?
Yes, my name is there.
Wow.
So you got the credit.
No,
So like for
nothing.
example, if no wait, what are they talk? We say, for example, if they say maybe excess love produced by
Produced
Dr.
by-
Roy,
Yes, credit day, but nothing
credit.
come
no
out.
revenue.
Nothing.
Continue.
So
you say you know waiting be publishing.
So when I say whether I know waiting be publishing, then I ain't go tell me waiting be publishing. I tell him say at least I don't make small worker. I know say I suppose get revenue. In as much as say nothing come out.
Yes.
In time, he say, make I forget that thing. Say nothing like publishing there. I say, okay. I can't try to see how I go fit get
Ignorance. That was capitalizing on his ignorance. So he now started finding out to know more. Let's go on.
Even the small place where I say make I put head to collect publishing from, in go right to the people them there. Say make them take me out. Say nothing concern me for the work when I do there. Say I don't do anything. Say they don't pay me off. Now I call and tell and say, boss, if they claim say they don't pay me off, waiting be the pay off when I get.
Exactly.
He say, but I collect check of 140,000. I say I don't check all the documents then way you give me. There's nothing like me signing out my intellectual property.
Yes.
Do you understand? The only thing you people gave me was money for service. And that service is not even worth
It's not worth it.
In time, he say make I forget that thing. Say whether they go give person money for land, then when they come discover oil for the land, then they go come, the person go come back, come say one claim the land.
You see the idea? Very smart. That explains as well here. Your ignorance, like they say, is not an excuse. And that's what he was just trying to teach him there. But let's go on.
So, Dr. Roy, wait to these documents where you talk about, now the documents when they give you to sign on the day when you collect that 140,000 naira.
Yes, now the document when they claim say and then you pay me off now.
And when you look everything when they inside, they give your lawyer to
I say I
interpret.
get the paper.
Did you have a lawyer? Did you have a legal advisor?
When I started, I was naive. I did not know anything about this whole thing.
Okay.
So the MOU is just work so that you just make percentage between you and the customer. No be work for in-house artists.
Okay. Now work for
So you
other
took-
artists where the working artists.
Yes.
So now the publishing, how the publishing story can continue?
So the publishing story, so when I try to reach him out, tell him say CRCB. After he shot me down
that
for
just,
there, we can't see the fine way, no way. So we come accidentally meet for Port Harcourt Airport. I come tell him, say, boss, this is the way they do now. All of us follow put in this work now. Any way it be.
Something must come out.
At that period, my father gets stroke, high blood pressure, and diabetes. And I may be the only boy. I get only one sister. So, you know, as to be, only you know, I'm go fend for
Everybody.
I reach out to him. After we meet for Port Harcourt Airport, I tell him, say, CRCB. I even call himself, tell him, say, say my father know well. If you get anything where you go fit assist, just assist me so that I'll fit take care of my father.
Yes.
He say, make I know what they say, he will be fine.
Well,
I say, boss, now the publishing now. If anything go fit come out now, so that I'll fit take care of my...
That will be fine. She been a fit. I saw a video recently. Let me play it. It's out of this context, but should I play it? No. We'll look at it in a different video. Let me not play it. Let's go on.
Papa, we know where. He tell me, say, he don't tell me now, waiting to do now. Say, I no want to do.
Waiting be that.
What's be the thing we tell you
that?
to do?
I dey come. You get one time when I go put my name for the publishing. So, inconsistent, I put my name for. I tell her, say, right to them.
Yes,
say,
make them come out here.
Now, because I don't feel pull name, no fit pull name.
Okay.
So now you come dey tell me, say, make I go come out my
Remove your
name. Make him input his own name.
and your work.
So now there when you come tell me, say, don't tell me what.
Saying that because he has put name that he cannot put his name, I think that was quite a smart move, I would say, because when you are registering, maybe what he did, because when it comes to you registering for publishing, what happens is that it's not as if you are submitting the song, no. You are just entering the details of a song. Doesn't make sense? But let's go on and see.
To do now. Say, since I say I don't want to do it now. Say make I know what they say my father go do alright. I no talk. Before you know, I can't meet them with already right and when do like say no see anything.
Yeah.
At that time I come tell me say I get mine, they send lawyers to them.
Smart man.
Say she be I no say no the hungry. She be I no say he no the hungry. Say this whole thing go fit end for dialogue. Now my question is, you know say we go fit dialogue this thing.
Why you
know one? I don't make effort. People don't come meet you, write to you. So that all of us go fit sit down dialogue. But you know one do am.
waiting before you continue? In all this thing, What will be the role of Mercy Chinwo for this whole thing?
Voting.
Messi no know wetin dey happen
saw.
for all this thing.
Even Macy doesn't. I don't think. Maybe she just recently discovered, being in the business herself now, that indeed he is, with respect to her song, and that he is also a writer added to her song. Because I've seen the back end, of course, of this information. Now, as we continue, if you know him, please send him this video and ask him a very important question. Aside your name being Dr. Roy, is your name also Chike Caleb David? Because if that is your name, which I'm going to be discussing and showing the audience as we get to go on, then I understand what he did behind the scenes when he was just mentioning the fact that he put his name somewhere. So like I just mentioned, let me give you guys a background before I get to continue with what he's saying. Remember, there is ASCAP, BMI, CSEC, and the rest of them. So what he did was that since Mercy Chinwo was already registered on ASCAP by Eezee Tee, Ezekiel Thank God, he went on BMI, took the same songs, like the details of the song, and recorded the same songs on the first album on BMI, and recorded it, and using his name, which has an IPI number, but Mercy Chinwo's name does not show to belong to any society. I'll explain this, of course, in detail. But for you to understand, he just went on another PRO platform, registered the same song, but only his name and then the publishing company's Song Trust is what he uses, that is more like with an IPI number on that particular platform, the BMI platform. But on ASCAP, Mercy Chinwo's detail is there. In fact, even the name Mercy Chinwo's name is in full on ASCAP, and her name is just Mercy Chinwo in. So if he was being an honest person, what he could have done is call Mercy Chinwo, what is your full name? But he did it as well behind the scenes, because like you just heard him mention, Mercy Chinwo is not aware. Even Eezee Tee was not aware that he was putting his name somewhere. So when we get to look at the page on BMI, you see that some part, somewhere, somehow, there is a conflict somewhere, somehow, with respect to what publishing rights are coming in for what Eezee Tee had recorded in ASCAP compared to as well what he has recorded as well on BMI. So Mercy Chinwo saying that she had not received her publishing right for the past 7 years he has been with him can be questionable, in the sense that at least for his first album, this young man has taken steps behind the scenes to actually see ways to get publishing from the song. That is what you saw him mention earlier. But probably he might get to share with his audience how that is going for him, okay? Seeing that maybe the time he came in to put his name and details there, the song has already peaked and gotten many streams and all of that. So because the idea is that it depends on whenever you get to put the song on any of the PROs, defines when you start getting to earn from that particular song, depending on how it's being streamed and how it's being used across radio, TV, and all of that. So now I'm getting a big technical, of course, for us. So please try to understand what I'm showing you. So this is the BMI website, and I'm now viewing. This is more like the song view aspect. So anyone can actually do this if you are actually on BMI to check up on your song or something. So what I just did as well here was just type the song title, Excess Love, okay? And then I could see the data on it. Now, there may be many songs that have the same title. Some people might have done cover songs or something, like you could see this one here, okay? People might have the same title on a song that is not that. So you have to make sure you look for the specific one that has to do with your own song. Do you understand? So this one was the one I discovered that had to do with Mercy Chinwo's. So you see here, Chike Caleb David. I don't know if you could see this. And underneath it says here, Chinwo Mercy. Now, when Eezee Tee recorded Mercy Chinwo's details on ASCAP, I'm going to show you that this is not the real name. Mercy Chinwo's name has one other name as well involved. So you see where it says here NS. This NS you see right here means no society, no affiliation to either BMI, ASCAP, or any PRO. So because she doesn't have an IPI here, this IPI is a unique identifier that tracks your earnings and then how you can get paid from that particular song. So what Chike Caleb David did, which is Dr. Rai, was that he came and registered those songs as well here on BMI, okay? And then, of course, this is his own IPI number. His affiliation is with BMI. and then his publisher is Song Trust. So he uses Song Trust, BLVD, we'll talk about it later, with this particular BMI, and then registered the same song details. Like I said, you don't have to submit the song, you just wait to enter the details or the metadata of the song. But look at something here, what he doesn't have, which I think it wouldn't really get to yield him something, is the point where he says here alternate titles. No data available, no data available here. So I wonder, I don't think he really gets to earn much. And why I'm suspecting that this is him, so if you know him as well, you can ask him. Why I'm suspecting that this is him is that when I went on Muso.ai, I like digging things, so don't mind me, okay? I could see him right here with a track that he made, Controller, by Dr. Roy. Guess who I found right here as songwriters? David, Caleb, Chike. So I didn't need to put one or two together. If I even wanted to go deeper, I saw a song he did with Prince Emmanuel that also had the same songwriter, David, Caleb, Chike, as composer, lyricist. Even he himself will be shocked. I never knew this was his name, but when I start digging, I find these things. Now, this is public information, so if anybody want to sue me, you sue the platform. If it's something that is supposed to be private, how would I be able to see it? Okay, now let's go over to the ASCAP. Okay, so this is the song as well here, Excess Love here on ASCAP. This is how the ASCAP platform is. The same thing as well, you have to go under music repository here on the left here. When you click that as well, you'll be able to see this page. Okay, if you are using your phone, you may not be able to see this and the results, so you have to make sure you kind of use a computer as well. This is just for those who are in music, or would I say, music, those that are in the music business, if you want to see if you are duly represented. Okay, so here of course you can see here Messi Chinwo. You see, this is the real name. You see right here is highlighted in blue. I'll talk about this more in the video. So she has an ASCAP membership. I don't even know if she knows she has an ASCAP membership, but Ezekiel also, Eezee said, make sure that she was put there. She has a unique IPI number, meaning that there's money that goes to a particular account that is linked to her in her name when it comes to publishing royalties. Then this is him here being put as part of the writers. We should be Ezekiel, we should be Caleb himself being put there, but like I said as well here, ignorance. So Ezekiel put his name as both writer, and of course you could see here his name is also on the right here as the publisher, Eezee Concept Global. So like I mentioned as well here, publishers and then the writers get to have 50 when it comes to the revenue that comes in from publishing. But I was a bit confused at this point here. Who is Jonah Walker? Because these are listed as name of performers. I don't know, because this is a song that was made by Messi Chinwo herself. So who is this person that is listed as a performer of the song, or that can perform the song? I tried to check on who Jonah Walker is. One person I saw was a Jamaican person, I think, who came up as well in my search, at least someone that is black. Then you can see here alternate titles, Excess Love feeds Messi Chinwo, Excess Love feeds Messi Chinwo. I don't even see the Jonah Walker here when it comes to the alternate titles. Does it make sense? So because there's this IPI number, she gets to earn royalties as well from the song. I checked on every other song. One other number that is important, of course, here is the ISWC number. Don't ask me, George, how do you know all of these things? When I want to dig something, I'm obsessive about investigating things. So I just had to show that visually for people to understand what I have been saying. So this is the song view. The song view here shows information from both ASCAP and BMI, which are PROs. Okay, then if you want to see if it's like 100% BMI, ASCAP repository, you can check here as well. But this is ASCAP 100% actually, so I am not surprised. So the song is still here because it's 100% ASCAP. Both of them are part of ASCAP here. So when money comes to Eezee Concept as a publisher, 50% of the money, and the other 50% is shared by Messi Chinwo and then Ezekiel Tangod. Doesn't make sense? Okay, all right. So but when I did some check as well, just to give you guys this information, maybe if Messi Chinwo is watching, I noticed that I couldn't find any of her new songs when it comes to publishing. So probably she's working with TuneCore, because Nathaniel Bassey works with TuneCore as his distributor, I don't know if Nathaniel Bassey earns from publishing, but he might have to look into that as well, registering for PROs, like, registering for publishing right. And then we have some other ones as well called the synchronization right when it comes to licensing. That's a different conversation entirely, a bit complicated, but so if they want to like look into getting more money as well, because their music could be played at this particular platform as well, really helps generate revenue for your songs, like on autopilot, I would say. All right, so this is where I was saying that it's a bit greedy. Why don't you just put the name of the producers or something? But maybe in his mind, as a boss or the one that owns the studio, he puts his name on every person's song as part of the songwriter. But I'll show you a particular progression that I think happened with his person looking at this whole publishing side. Like I said as well, when it comes to the royalties that comes from the masters, that one is majorly for the record label, like, distributing this actual song itself. But publishing also has revenue that comes from it. Like, yeah, it could be very significant if the song is big. Okay, but let's go on. For those who are in the music industry, what I'm saying would make sense to you, but those who are just watching this because of those you are attached to or the names mentioned, it may not make sense. Even I myself had to sit down hours to learn about this when I was trying to investigate what he's saying. My job here is to really verify the things people say. If it's facts, I'm discussing it, of course, based on that. So I saw what he was doing behind the scenes. So from my digging, I saw his connection with Bamidele and also Prince that he talked about training in music and all that. So he did some things behind the scenes. So if you are looking at his relationship with Eezee Tee, I think that was something he did that was quite significant. But now here's the assumption I'm making, which I think might be correct. I took my time to do an extensive research on the current music that Mr. Chinwo has been releasing right now, like the We Move and the rest of them. I couldn't find them in the publishings of either ASCAP or BMI. So I think when it got to the conversation that they were having with respect to Eezee Tee, looking at the publishing, like Kwame Sissingo herself to say she had not received publishing for so number of years, I think they got to start having conversations about that, because Mr. Chinwo's name is recorded on ASCAP with an IPI number. So if she's releasing songs right now, okay, and she wants to get publishing, she's supposed to get publishing using her details that are already there in ASCAP, but those details were registered presumably, I think, by Eezee Tee, because I don't think it will be hard or registered. Eezee Tee will use her details and information to register her name on publishing on the platform. And then, having done that, he has the access to receiving the money that comes from publishing. So here's my theory. I may be wrong on that, so only Mr. Chinwo and the rest of them can confirm that. My theory would be that right now she's not using the publishing rights, but of course when it comes to distribution deals, of course that is normal, like money coming from YouTube, streaming and all of that. But when it comes to publishing, which is normally a lesser percentage of when it comes to earning money from your music, I don't think she's really been active on that with respect to her new songs. Now she's now in the husband's record label, the GNT Nation. I don't know if what I'm saying is making sense, but I'm now thinking this is what I think might have been going on behind the scenes. Since there's an account attached to her as a writer in the song, that means there's a separate account that her publishing goes to. It's not as if the amount comes in from the publishing and then it goes to the publisher who now decides how much to pay her. No. When once you put your details like that in the PROs, the money automatically goes to who is supposed to go to at a particular time. So I was now thinking, how would they get to resolve this situation with respect to the fact that her name is already in the system, because you cannot be on both systems at the same time. You cannot be on BMI and ASCAP at the same time. You have to be on one. That is why the producer himself had to go and register himself on BMI, but could not enter the name of Mr. Chinwo. So Mr. Chinwo is listed as no society or no association. That's what the NS itself means. So because she doesn't have an IPI number there in the BMI, nothing literally kind of like goes to her. So what Eezee Tee is supposed to do is just hand over that account for the publishing to her, because the whole thing is already shared in the system when they were actually uploading, or would I say registering the song. so that she can still use her name, use the same IPI number, and then get to register her new song. So next time, if she's registering her new song, let's say, for example, the one she's doing now, what she would just have to do is just use the same IPI number with her name, with the name of the song, now with a different publisher, which is maybe GNT Nations, and then have no issues when it comes to her publishing royalties. Like I said, publishing royalties is not always that big, but if your song is big and is used widely in televisions here and there, of course the money could also be a lot. So let's say, for example, if you are earning $100, for example, from your distribution or from your streaming, when it comes to the actual song, publishing might just be probably, let's say, $10. So it's always a fraction, but it could be a lot as well, depending on how big your song itself is. Does it make sense? So Eezee Tee, to settle this as well, when it comes to the publishing that you have never paid her or something, it's not as if you really, for them to find that out is easy. He just has to bring the account that he linked to Mercy Chinwo's name when it comes to the receipt of the publishing royalties, and they can see every amount that comes in every quarter. Normally it's in quarters: February, November, I think April. Yeah, I think I did a study on that. So every quarter they can see the details for since she signed onto the label up to date. But again, is he providing those information for Mercy Chinwo and her team as well to see what she earned? Like you read, of course, in the document, she's not against the whole 50-50 situation. She just wants to get her part and then move on, discovering that some things are just out of context. So probably she has seen behind the scenes and seen that, come on, his name is listed as writer, but like I explained to you as well, Eezee Tee will be listing his name as if he's like the producer, at least at that time. But I'll get on to show you that he got to change for a while. Let's go on to listen to him as we go on. Again, I apologize. My video is long because I have to make this more educational for you, for those who it's really for to learn. Let's go on.
She didn't ask about you.
She not ask about you.
You know, say my chairman at this person will say, if in they beef you, everybody
No one
for
else
company go
wants
beef
to
you.
feel-
Oh, so Mercy Chinwo can't join the beef you.
He no beef me.
Okay.
She no know wetin dey happen.
Hey, because
all
I
this
know
while.
Mercy Chinwo. Mercy Chinwo not be.
Even when my father dey sick, she no know.
You see?
So when my father can't die, na there too I still reach out to tell am say chairman see my papa don't die. Anything we go fit support. Now this mommy talk me. Now him come reach out to Mercy. Come tell Mercy say my papa don't die. Mercy come call me. Come send money for my mother. Send money for me. Say anyway, be say she no be even know say my father dey sick all this while.
Ew.
She no even know say.
You did not even work with them
She
again.
no even know say I no dey even see anything safe.
Wow. Continue.
So when it can't happen, after my father can't die, I reach out to nothing still come out. So after he sent me all those voice notes and everything, and so I still you got hustle and because if you know hustle, I get younger ones to train. So if you know hustle, if you know find way, everybody go to look you like this when school fees time reach.
Yeah.
So now so the thing go till as me they talk like this. Nothing don't come out.
Okay.
Mercy, talking about Mercy Chinwo. Because for me,
Okay, let's not go there. If you want to watch a full video, you can watch it on their channel. This is actually a picture of them together during that time. In fact, there was this comment I saw that Mercy Chinwo dropped on her post, like, you know, let's say back in the day, and she said something, of course, in the post, which is, you know, more like a jovial thing as well. Let me show you that here. She said here, pride, pride, pride. All I see is gospel pride. My superstar producer, I celebrate you. That was a picture of him. And then, what's his name again? This man is a veteran when it comes to music. Please tell me his name in the comment. I think it's Bushy. Yes, as well. Okay, so that is something I had to show you. Now let's get on to proper revelation, education, and please pay attention. So I took my time to explain to you the two kinds of publishing that exists when it comes to a particular music. In this case as well, I'm looking at just the publishing, not the one that comes from the masters. So I took my time to explain the publishing like with a goosey soup. You get the point now. You can also self-publish yourself if you don't have a record label. That is when you register on the platform as both a writer and a publisher. I am showing you that as well on your screen, so you could see only publishers get to pay an extra as well when it comes to just a one-time fee. I mentioned that already. But again, this is where it becomes more interesting as well. This is where it becomes more interesting, because if you're registering yourself as both the writer and the publisher, means that you get 100% of the earnings when earnings comes from your publishing list. For those who get to use BMI, let me play this short video for you so you get to understand what I'm saying. This is on BMI platform, so watch this.
And a lot of artists think that, oh, well, since I'm a songwriter and I'm registering my song as a songwriter, I'm missing out on that publishing half. But actually, BMI has already got this figured out and solved for us. During registration, all you have to do is put 200% in the writer's share, and that will leave 0% in the publisher's share. In fact, you can even see that there is no publisher listed, but I'm still collecting 200% of the pie. The full writer's share and the full publisher's share. The best part about this is that you don't have to shell out the extra cash to create a publishing company. All you have to do is just throw the percentage in the writer's share and you're done.
Did what the man said make sense? So that's how the BMI looks. Once you put your name as once you put 200% to yourself as well, when you finish and then you publish, it doesn't show publisher at the end. So I saw some of those as well when I was looking at the ASCAP platform. So I'm going to be showing you some examples here. Now note, according to the platform itself, I have to state this in case they are watching. Okay, this video is for educational purposes, because there's a clause when it comes to how you get to use the information you see. So what I am showing you right now, or what I'll be showing you, is something that you can also make findings yourself. Okay, this information is public, but at least I'm telling you that this is for educational purposes, so you can learn. If you are into music, you can try to find this out yourself with respect to the label you are working with. So what I did was that I took my time to look at Mercy Chinwo's records that were on the platform, recorded for publishing, to verify what the man was saying. So let me start. So one fact I got to find out was that there are 52 songs with the name of Mercy Chinwo on the platform. Now note, she said that she has worked on over 40 songs with Eezee Tee. So these 52 songs might be also some other collaborations she did with other people that may not necessarily be hers as well, or will I say that of Eezee Concept. In fact, I've seen collaborations as well that she has done with other people like Morgan, that Eezee Concept is the publisher. Okay, but I noticed something quite interesting which we are going to be examining. So okay, now don't look at the title there that says Excess Love. That was just the title, but I had to click on her name to now see everything that has to do with her person as registered on ASCAP, which I believe it was Eezee Concept that registered her name there. So that is fact number one. When I looked at, of course, Ezekiel Tangod himself, which he always puts his name as also a writer, which I've explained to you what I think he might be thinking, since there are no there's nothing like producer or something. So he put his name, of course, on almost all the artists that are on his label. Every artist that sang a single, okay, or maybe if it's his own artist, let's say Judy K and Mercy Chinwo that sang together on a song, his name is also part of the writers. But when Mercy Chinwo gets to collaborate, let's say with Choma Jesus, I'll show you the record. He puts only Eezee Concept as publisher, which get 50%, and then the other 50% to be shared by the owners of the song, depending on whatever percentage they agree. Now we don't see the percentage that they put as a sharing formula, but normally when there's a publisher involved, other than the creators themselves, the songwriters, or would I say the artists, publisher always gets 50%. So aside the 50% that the company gets, Eezee Concept gets, the other 50% is shared by those who are like the songwriter or whoever contributed as well to the song. Does it make sense? The only way you can actually get paid on the platform, if your name is in the publishing, is if you have what? The IPI, the unique IPI number. So your name can be listed there, but probably you are not getting paid. I had to do my research on that, but you can correct me in the comments if you think someone that his name is there without any IPI number, if the person can actually be paid. Now this is me when I'm not recording, so when I was doing my research, I had to just record this part for educational purposes. So let me ask my friends some questions live. Forget any discussion we have had before now. I'm trying to understand something about record labels and artists. So here's my question. Are you listening?
I'm listening carefully. What would you like to know about record labels and artists? I'm ready to help you understand the complexities of their relationship and how royalties work in the music industry.
Okay, so when artists sign a deal with a record label, normally they earn royalties. It could be mechanical royalties or composition royalties. I want to understand with respect to the masters, or would I say the streaming royalties. When the artist earns royalties, do the distribution companies pay the royalties directly to the artist, or they pay it through the record label who now decides what to pay the artist?
In most cases, streaming royalties are collected by the record label first, not directly paid to the artist. The label receives the bulk of the streaming revenue and then calculates the artist's share according to their contract. This means the distribution companies typically pay the royalties to the record label, who then distribute a predetermined percentage to the artist. The label acts as an intermediary, taking their negotiated percentage before paying the artist their agreed upon share. The exact split depends on the specific terms of the artist's contract, but it's common for labels to retain a significant portion of the streaming revenue before passing on the artist's royalties.
So I want to know something. When an artist decides to leave the record label, do they still get to earn royalties from their music, or would I say from their masters, from streaming? And what if the artist doesn't have a good relationship with the record label? Is the record label still obligated to still pay the artist their royalties from the songs they did with the label?
When an artist leaves a record label, they typically still earn royalties from their previously recorded masters. The record label is legally obligated to continue paying royalties to the artist, regardless of their current relationship. The original contract governs the royalty payments, meaning the label must continue to distribute the artist's share of streaming revenue, even if the professional relationship has ended. However, the specific terms can vary depending on the original contract. Some key points: royalties are legally owed to the artist. The record label must continue to pay agreed upon royalties. The original contract determines the payment structure. Or personal relationships do not negate the legal obligation to pay royalties. The artist's right to royalties is protected by the original recording and distribution agreement, ensuring they continue to receive compensation for their work.
Or not? Thank you, dear.
You're welcome. I'm glad I could help you understand the complexities of record label and artist relationships. Is there anything else I can assist you with today?
Nothing for now. My audience are watching me. They want to listen to what I have to say.
Understood. Take care and enjoy your time with your audience. I'm here if you need any further assistance later.
No problem. So, hey, let's get back to the studio. That's also something I found. So, when it comes to Eezee Tee, there are 165 songs that he is there as part of the writer. I mean, with his name, of course, Thank God Ezekiel. You understand? Again, this right here is public information. You can do the research yourself. I'm just trying to bring clarity to my audience who want to understand the nitty-gritty of the situation. So, I now looked at the person of Labisi, the current artist right now who is working with them, and I found out something quite interesting. So her name, of course, is Olabisi Esther. You could see, of course, and then she's not seen. Her name is, if you look at the point where it says PRO, which is the Performance Rights organization, of course, right here, there is no society, so she does not have an IPI number. So Labisi, if you're watching this as well here, please work on making sure that she gets an IPI number. Very important. Register her as well in the system to be part of either BMI or ASCAP when it comes to the sharing revenue. Now, when I looked at the Obasi Chijoke Paul, I think he might actually be one of the producers, but of course, Eezee Tee's name is there when it comes to him being also quote unquote the songwriter. Does it make sense? His name is everywhere, both as publishing. You see the way it says Easy Concept Global. On the publishers, they get like, so he's there, of course, there as the publisher. Does it make sense, my dear friend? Okay, so please, my recommendation when I was taking note of this is that you should work on that. The Chijoke Paul, of course, is on BMI. So this song view right now, the song view section on the ASCAP website is ascap.com, shows you both BMI records and also ASCAP records for clear understanding. Okay, you can look up this for any artist if you want. That is what I took my time to do. Okay, but this video is very educational, at least for you yourself who is going into music. I've seen many people who were watching my videos that their name is with song. I'm like, okay, many people in music are watching, and I saw a professor as well that is watching me. Amazing. Thank you for watching. I do appreciate. We are all here to learn. So that is also something we need to know. I noted. So if, and let me just explain the interface for you. If you look at the top as well here, she has not been assigned yet, or the song itself, let's say for example Akira, has not been assigned an ISWC number. So probably when the song is assigned that number, she might be registered in an entity. I think she's still new, so all of these things will be something that will work behind the scenes. So Labisi, if you're watching, that as well should be done. Okay, I know it takes time as well to get the ISWC number. I know it takes some time as well to get that when you get to put your song, but at least when it comes to publishing right as well, what needs to be done has been done. The publisher's name is there and then the writers are there, but this has to be worked on. Okay, just my recommendation, so that tomorrow we will not be here fighting and then people will be arguing this and this and that. So the ISWC now represents as well the international standard musical work. There's a whole lot of things as well on that. When I was looking at this, I was asking myself, why is his name on everyone's record as a writer? So, and this is also here on GDK's side, an example of one of her songs, Capable God. You can see right there that her name is there and then his name is also there as the writer. Now, if you are the one that produced Capable God, maybe you were the one in the studio that was producing that. I don't think if when Dr. Roy was there and Eezee Tee was not active in the production of the music, do you think it is now that he's not there and there are other people who are producers and all of that in the record label that he would be also a producer? So I don't understand this one's why only his name and her name are there as writers. I was thinking there would be another person as a producer. So that maybe that might also explain what Roy was saying, that there are some other people that have worked with him and they complain and they left, all of those things. Do you understand? And I also got to notice something. Remember we talked about the person of Frank Edwards, who is actually very close to him, that he actually learned to work from or something. He managed for a while. Now when I looked at Frank Edwards' own I looked him up, of course, right there on the system. I noticed something interesting. When it comes to his person, he is the only one that is there as the writer, no other person. So probably, like he said, he receives his songs from God. I was talking to a friend who reminded me that I made a video about that sometime. He received his songs from God. So he is the only one that is there as the writer. Then, of course, we have the Songs Trust that is also a a publishing company. Yeah. So from the 7 results I saw with his person, he is the only one that is represented as the writer. So he gets 50% and then the publishing company gets 50%. I was thinking I would see the Rocktown Nation, all of that, but I didn't get to see those details on the ASCAP. So these are just behind the scenes stuff. Just like Dr. Roy was saying, his name is there as someone that produced the song. He even prized himself as a hit maker, producer of Excess Love and all of that. But behind the scenes, he's not recognized as a producer. But Eezee Tee is the one recognized probably as a producer, but his name is there as a writer, like I explained as well to you. So I also went on to see Mercy Chinwo's collaboration as well here with Choma Jesus. Now, I even got to know that Choma Jesus' name is not really her name. Choma Jesus is like her stage name. So I noticed something quite interesting. Yes, of course, Easy Concept Global is a distributor, or would I say the publisher of the song as recorded as well, but he doesn't include his name as part of the writers. If we're here and for Choma Jesus, if I give you Woto Woto, how come? How are you the writer? I guess so. But again, I was now asking myself, if Choma Jesus and Mercy Chinwo are put there as the writers, it makes sense. But look at Choma Jesus' name as well there, no society, so there's no IPI number. So I don't know if the name was just put there for putting sake, or if there is actually revenue that she gets to earn. Because, can you hear me? Assume we haven't had a pro discussion till now. I want to ask you something about ASCAP. If you don't have an IPI number, can you earn or receive money from ASCAP or BMI?
Without an IPI number, it's typically challenging to receive royalties from ASCAP or BMI. These performing rights organizations require an IPI number to track and distribute payments to musicians. You'll generally need to obtain an IPI number through a music publisher or by registering with the performance rights organization before you can collect royalty payments. This unique identifier is crucial for ensuring proper credit and compensation for your musical works.
Thank you.
Is there anything else I can support you with today?
Nothing else for now. Thank you for your help. Now we are becoming very digital, so I have to confirm what I'm saying with you. If not, you people will just pieces me. So indeed, as well, looking at message. Anyway, I don't know how Chioma Jesus would get her publishing royalties if there is anything coming from that song, but I just had to show you that when I get to see collaborations with artists that are outside the record label, even though he's still the one that is the publisher, I don't get to see his name listed as part of the writers. Is that intentional? Was there no producer in this particular song? Okay, more the spirit of more the spirit of the spirit. So that was something I also got to observe. Then I could see as well here one of the songs of Labisi here, which is Hallelujah. I think that is a more recent song. I could see some people's name there: Elijah Adekunle, No Society. You people should also be part of the either BMI or ASCAP if you are interested in publishing. But maybe him as a record label decides maybe register you guys or something. The only person that has an IPI number right there, which you see is he himself, Eezee Concept, and of course he also has a publishing. So even though your name might be listed as well there in the publishing as well, any money or revenue goes to him, and probably he now decides what is the money that has come to him, and then what is now that percentage that you are now getting, which you may not know. But had it been your IPI number is there and maybe your account is there, everything will come to you. But this is something you have to understand, and I'll know why it is that like this before you start batching on Eezee Concept. When you are registering on that website, ASCAP or BMI, what it requires as well is a US bank account. What it requires as well is maybe your social security number or your international tax ID. So he has, I believe he has these details, because even the office, the details I see there is somewhere in America, all of that. So I think no wonder if you look at some of those audits and the recommendation that they were giving, they were wanting him to bring or reflect all the accounts he has both in Nigeria and abroad. So I think as well for him to be here, the company might have an account outside the country that they are using the social security number and then the tax ID, of course, of that account to receive the funds. So in the end, of course, Eezee Concept himself receives everything and then decides what, based on the percentage of what comes in, what you are now going to be getting based on you being on the split sheet. So I understand why these people may not have an IPI. You will not be paid without that particular IPI number if everything is going directly to your account when it comes to the splitting. So this the publishing royalties as well, it helps. So the platform itself here helps you not to do any form of accounting. Everything just goes to whose account. But since he's the one that has the IPN number, everything comes to him. And then if he's someone that is transparent, he would now be transparent and say, okay, this is what came for this particular song. This is this, okay, this is what you are getting as your percentage. This is what you are getting as your percentage. So it's more like an internal thing that they have to discuss. But I'm just showing you this as well so you get to know. Okay, that's where also record labels become important. But again, it depends on if the person that is your record label boss has a good heart, everything will be transparent, and then you will see what has come from your split and then what you are getting. This is something so if you listen to the video, of course, of Roy himself, he actually got to work with Harry Song, and he said that Harry Song asked him for his details as well when it comes to the splitting of the record. So if you are working on a record with someone, the only thing the person needs to ask you is what is your IPI number, because when you have the IPI number and your name, of course, all they need to do is just put your details in the song when they're registering for publishing, and then it's there for life. Do you understand? And then whatever comes in as well, it will just come straight to your account. Nobody needs to come and ask you questions. The publishing company would get their split, the songwriter gets their split, and all that. So when an artist leaves a record label, I think these are also things that also needs to be rectified. So there has to be a meeting point where Messi Chinwo has that conversation as well with Eezee Tee, as well as others that have left the rebel. I noticed something as well with Minister JUC's at least his recent album. The publishing companies I see are two publishing companies as well in this last album that he had to make for the devil before graduating. I noticed that as well when it comes to his person, like in his 2023 songs. So let's say, for example, here, this song by Mr. GUC, All Eyes on Jesus. I could see as well there, his name is there. He has an eye, he's on there on ASCAP as well with his IPI. And then I could see other people's name as well here, Edward, Kufre, all of that. So the Martins, Temilola, Eric as well has IPI. Kufre has BMI, his number is there. And I could see as well, Thank God Ezekiel is also there as part of the writers. So that's where you could see the other publishing company, CTSO, ASCAP Music. So I'm just showing you these details as well so that you see that what was being said is not false, it's not a lie. Do you understand? Okay, so just to show you a part of that. So I was now wondering, okay, so how can I get to really discuss about this for people to understand why his name being there is not really his name being there is a little bit questionable. Okay, now if he's putting the name of, let's say, Messi Chinwo as a writer and the name of the music producer, let's say the actual music producer, the producer we saw here is already naive, doesn't know anything. So where is he going to? So when it comes to having what is required for you to register as, let's say, a producer or a songwriter, those details, of course, does he have this social security number? Does he have someone, even if you are registering, they also have a provision for if you are registering from outside the US, there's some document, there's a way it's also being done. It's not as if you cannot register if you're outside the US. But for someone that is naive, you don't know nothing. So I think as well, in my opinion, Eezee Tee just is like, okay, let me use my name everywhere, okay? And then I'll now be the one to be giving them their share, since I'm the one that has details and what is required to register this particular thing. Do you understand? But we see that that's not a reflection of what happened, because he didn't give the producer anything. Okay, and then with Messi Chinwo, he didn't give Messi Chinwo anything when it comes to publishing, except he's going to say that there is zero earnings from publishing. Then of course he has to prove it to them that there was zero earnings from publishing with all of her songs. I don't know if it makes sense at this point. So indeed as well, I can try to understand with him why it is that way. But if you are doing industry conferences and you are teaching people and trying to build structure and all that, these are things as well you tell them. These are things you educate them about as well. How can they get these particular registrations if they are producers or something being outside Nigeria? Or is that why you are working with Africori, and Africori makes it possible for them to have all of these? These are things, of course, you get to discuss with those who are in the creative space, in the art, because one can easily capitalize on another person's ignorance and do whatever they want to do. Like, for example, when Judy K's lawyers released, when Judy K's audit report came out, Easy Concept was in his post was saying that they released people's personal information, that they were supposed to contact him after they had done their quote unquote audit to ask more questions before releasing the report that was supposed to be quote unquote confidential. So he now talked about YouTube. The reason for the discrepancies in the amount that comes from YouTube is because YouTube takes 30% and all that. Now I know, because I'm a YouTube creator, that YouTube takes 30% before you even get anything. Do you understand? So maybe that was something that was not reflected, because you look at the Google Analytics, you can look at maybe from YouTube what earnings has come from the back end. The figure you see on YouTube, it's not the same thing you are going to receive in your bank account from Google, because Google will take 30% before they send you the remaining. So he was explaining that to be the discrepancy. I would know, anyone that is on the platform that is a creator understands this particular rule, but maybe the auditors, they were just, since he was being audited when he was quote unquote under duress, at least they were releasing the things that they saw during the period of 9 days. They were trying to go through his document or something. That's why they were even requesting that more accounts needs to be provided for them to see the earnings that are coming in as well, with respect to he and the artist Judy K, and also probably as well Messi Chinwo. But you see, it begins to even make a lot more sense. So that's also something I got to observe. So when I looked at someone like Don Jazzy, whom he looks up to a lot, I had to look at some key songs as well here that are tied to someone that is probably very popular, like the Rema that is also in the record label. And I saw something interesting. Let's say for this particular song that is Bad Commando. Okay, if you look at this song that is Bad Commando, that is belonging to Rema, you see here them that are using pro, like them they are using pro like they are publishing. Of course, they have 3 publishers. You can see there Marvin Record is also in the publishing. They have Sony Music Publishing. They have as well Blue Sky Publishing. You see, all this publishing as well here is just based on the business that they have interest, because maybe these people of course get to invest money in the artist for the whole, so Sony Music is part of the publishing. If publishing was like 0 naira, nothing is there, why would Sony Music even be here, put here, if it was like so? The money could be huge as well, depending on how big the artist itself is. But if you look at the writers here, look at the name there, Hunter Michael Ovi. Hunter Michael Ovi is a person that is London when it comes to his music. London, that guy that is London, he's the one. And then the second person as well, Ikubo Divine, is actually Rema himself. Yes, and then their IPI number is there. Their PRO is PRS. PRS is just like how we have ASCAP BMI. PRS is also another PRO platform. So this is called the song view aspect, where it shows you your data everywhere. I also went to see as well here this particular song Bounce. If you watch that song, now I'm giving this example as well. I know Christians are the ones watching me, but I'm discussing business here for those who are in the music space to understand. If you watch that song from the beginning, don't go and look for it too, because you see shaking everywhere. As my job, I have to see everything. Thank you very much. You can insult me how you want. So if you listen to the song, when he was starting, he said, now who did the beat? Jazzy. So Don Jazzy did the beat for that particular song, Bounce. Guess what? Don Jazzy's name is there as part of the writers of the song. It makes sense why his name is there, because he made the beat. Just like how we look at the person of Dr. Roy as well, that he was part of the composition of the song, he and Messi Chinwo together. But his name is not there, but Eezee Tee's name is there. So Jazzy's name is there, of course. Jazzy is recorded, is registered with ASCAP. Then you see London's name is there as well there, and of course Rema's name is also there, and their publishing company is there. I'm just using this as well to justify the reason why that as a producer his name is supposed to be there, even if his name is even is there, but not even with any, at least that recognition. So his name is there on the outside as producer, but on the back end his name is not registered anywhere, meaning that you are not important. I don't know if you understand what I'm saying, but again, there are ways you can try to explain for Eezee Concept on that. But if Eezee Concept have been receiving money from publishing for all these years, why have you not paid her a single dime according to what she's saying? Do you understand? Except you have paid her and you haven't told her you are paid, this money you are paying her is for publishing. Or maybe she's not even aware of something like that, because like you could hear as well the friend saying, Dr. Roy, that she's not aware of all these things. She's not even aware of the publishing, because if someone could be so naive, I would say at that time as well, because he was naive, to sign a contract in 2017 that she doesn't even have a copy, but trust and say, oh, it's with Pastor is keeping the copy as bank, only for you to receive the copy from there, and the copy is not what you sign. Even if you have amnesia, you will remember that you signed 25 pages on the footnote. You remember that you signed on the front page that has been changed from 2019 to 2017. Who makes a document and then front dates it? Okay, anyway, why am I even asking question? Because his own lawyers that drafted it as well said they drafted that particular document in 2019 and sent to him, record straight. So I see some of you arguing in the comment. I'm like, are you normal? That is itself is very trickery, is forgery. That your lawyer sent you a document and you use that document different from the way they intended you to use it. They didn't even know you were doing that. So why would you do that? Even your lawyers don't know. That is why your lawyers cannot even defend you. You have to go and hire another lawyer who will now come and then use a legal system to just meze everything. But people know the truth at least. So when Mrs. Chinwo herself spoke out, that made sense. Some people are saying that I am biased. I'm this. What is bias? When I was talking in my first video based on what Eezee Tee said, was I biased then? If you go and look at that video, people are still calling me names, saying that I am jealous of Mrs. Chinwo, blah blah blah, because I was speaking based on what Eezee Tee himself released. But my assumptions of the other side of Mrs. Chinwo is what we saw in my third video. Let me go on as well to some other observations, of course, I came across as well here. And so here's what I think as well here, because when I look at, just imagine this song here by GUC 2025. Look at all those that are being listed, even though his name is also listed as I Have Got Joy. even though his name, Ezekiel's name is also listed as the writer. But you see, many people's name are being listed. So what I think is that in his starting of his career, either because he's just taking charge of everything, the managerial stuff, he put everything under his name and just link everything to him as the boss. And because the people themselves are naive and all that, he just wants them to focus on the music. Okay, make music as well. Let me handle this side behind the scenes and then the money part. You get, but probably when he starts saying that money is coming in as well, some people had to be, excused. Like let's say Dr. Roy or something, so that everything would just be probably for him and then the company or something. But Mr. Chinwo not getting a dime from publishing is very, very disheartening as well to hear. So these were the main things, of course, I observed in just trying to prove what Mrs. Chinwo herself was saying. Now, this video is a follow-up video from my other video, just looking at that part of publishing and just showing you the Eezee Tee's personality. So I think as time went on as well, understanding that these things are becoming a conversation, like, let's say, imagine after the podcast that Dr. Roy himself did, those who are following him, those who are in his label, those producers, they will wise up, Oga, and then you will have a reason to also do what? To start including them or something, because now people are becoming more informed, people are becoming more wise. So if he's now working in the future with producers, of course, who are making music for him or working with different artists to make music, he just has to make sure that they have their unique IPI number. Now, I don't know if with the IPI numbers they have and everything, if they are getting the monies themselves, or if the money is going to him. But of course, if you have, I think BMI, you can do BMI if you are not in the US, I'm guessing so. But there has to be a way for people to independently, get to register or something and have their IPI number, and then their names could be added to songs and all of that. So
hello everyone, my name is Dr. Eezee Tee, music executive, Eezee Concepts Global, Eezee Global Ministry. We're here at the court. There has been a purported and orchestrated evil agenda to sell the wrong impression to the public that we're running, and we'll keep wondering why we should be running. This is our country. No notice was given to me. We didn't know anything about the notice. And I've been appearing. I was at the EFCC on the 10th of December precisely, and I waited for about 4 hours, and nobody attended to me. We're here in Nigeria. If a fundamental human rights action had been filed against my right that was breached, because I was detained for about 9 days in Ilorin, April last year, and I needed to find out why should I be breached, because why should I be...
So he was detained April last year. April, May, June, July, August, September, October, November, December. Look at how long from April to December that you went there and you went and appeared. We now know what made you to be detained, what was discovered during the detention, and what made you pay the money you paid. But let's go on.
There was no court order for why my accounts were frozen, the company accounts as well. My company business was rendered completely put on the pause, and we wanted to find out why should this happen. This transaction is all predicated on the premise of a contract. There's a contractual relationship, for goodness sake, and this contractual relationship, prepared by a certified lawyer, Udo Odoma, who is our copyright lawyer. There was a breach on this contract where
But the Udo Odoma, when it comes to what happened, said that the contract that he prepared in 2019, you changed it to 2017. And however you got the signatures on those particular contracts, where is the original of the contract? That is the situation here. Now, you didn't mention that here when you were talking to the press. Let's go on.
The said artist who is supposed to be a gospel artist, who is supposed to have integrity, who is supposed to sing Jesus and mean Jesus, who is supposed to keep to her words and terms of agreement, breached the contract, boycotted monies for events into her personal accounts, where it was using the same contents that belongs to us, earns those monies personally without any form of remittance.
Okay, now this is where I have an issue as well, because where is your own integrity right here? Because I think from your own side, you are mainly focused on trying to really malign her, bringing her faith, supposed to be singing Jesus. Yes, of course, this whole brouhaha should not even be happening. This whole drama should not even be happening. I shouldn't be knowing about this. Those who are watching now shouldn't be knowing about this, but hey, we all know. But why did you not follow what you people discussed? If from April you were detained, you paid money in April last year, and from April last year till December, you told them to wait after you people have finished crying inside EFCC and you wrote an agreement and then they countered the agreement as well for you people to settle everything amicably. Waiting since April, May, June, July, August, September, October, November, December. Hey, what kind of patience is that? So if EFCC is coming for you that way, I think they have waited a lot as well, because that whole situation happened at their office and that was how you left. But let's go on to listen to you.
We were remitting royalty until we sent a mail officially and said we will no longer, send a mail to you any more royalties until there's a proper mutual financial reconciliation. We need to have a meeting, and this will be done on the premise of an unbiased audit without any form of religious influence of one of your fathers or your mothers who have
Now I've known the other side. I'm looking at this as well here in a different way. When did you send her the mail? Because since 2022, I think she gave the time frame for which she had not received her royalties. So at what point did you send her this message and say she will not receive royalties again because of she's not revealing her record? Because right now the only way you can earn money from her songs is you should even be praying for her, because as she's getting popular and also doing what she's doing, those who are discovering her newly, they will still be listening to those songs, SS Love and all that. You understand? And you'll be making money from the streaming, you'll be making money from the publishing. Do you want people should boycott the song? Would Christians get to the point whereby they say, oh, I'm not going to listen to this song of Messi Chinwo because the record label boss is having issue with her, and so that you will not make your 50% and then she make anything or something? Because in the end, even though the contract is good 50%, I would say not settling this behind the scenes and having this whole brouhaha, how does that even get to affect your brand as a person? For you don't sing, the talents come, you invest in them, your name is somewhere, you are making the money as a label and all that. But remember that you started with this woman from scratch. You shouldn't be having issues like that with your foundational member. Jazzy and the band are still friends no matter what happened between them. Jazzy is still friends. Why am I using him as an example? But anyway, he's someone that everybody knows. Let's go on.
Have your interest and want to twist us to do what is not wrong. It's about justice. No, when we say these things, is it about money? No, this is not just about money. This is about truth. This is about sincerity. This is about integrity. This is about saying yes and you keep to yes. This is a 50-50 transaction where we have not even recouped capital. By that, I mean we're sharing 50-50 on gross, not on net. And that's a fair contract, for goodness sake. But when I got to the EFCC, I was told not to write my truth. I was told there's nothing about contract. All they just deal with is figures, and I should just write the monies that I'm owing. And I say we can't talk about monies without talking about what gave birth to money. The monies came as a result of the contract. This contract, monies was invested into the artist, and it generated this amount of money. And if there was money that was supposed to come to us and it wasn't coming, and we communicated, you cannot communicate and divert. You can't divert what you have communicated. And there's a mail to that effect. So how is this diversion? That's the question. The monies went into the right channels. By right channels, I mean the accounts that are known to the artist. There was no mail, regarding diversion of money. There was no resentment whatsoever with respect to how finances were going up until when this contract was breached. And we have every evidence to clear this. How then is this a criminal offense? This is a purported plan by a cartel of evil people who have the face and the mask of Christianity to destroy the system, to give an impression. I'm talking about someone who has earned over $1,500,000 from the same contract. How do you discredit what you have benefited from? Over $600,000 we're talking about is just for streams, not even for events. We have series of meetings where you went for, you didn't tell people you were going, you hid it because you didn't want us to know. That's not transparency, for goodness sake.
But did you people discuss this when you were at EFCC? Because she gave the reason why that money had to come out. And the money she gave the reason why the money had to come out from you. So what figures were the EFCC looking at that made you obliged to actually pay that money? Even though as they give their own side like this, it gets to paint the full picture. I could see right now he's hot, he's speaking, and this cartel where. One thing I know for a fact is that when it comes to the music ministry, the platform that she has as well, it depends on the church that she gets to invite her and all that. Now the church will now be between the church working with her or working with you. Yes, of course, you are the one that is bringing the artist into limelight per se by your investment and everything, and you are claiming here that you have not even recouped your investment in her. But I'm now wondering, Excess Love was such a success when you have not blew, to the point that even Dr. Roy himself had to be maligned based on his own confession. But Excess Love must have made a lot of money that you also used from that money to really get to grow and become how you are from Port Harcourt to Lagos. I don't know if you understand. So when you are saying that you have not even recouped the money you invested in her, it's something quite interesting, I would say. Is that why you wanted to sign a longer contract to retain her? Because probably she was a cash cow? I'm trying to be objective right here. At this point, the video came out as well. We hadn't heard the side of Messi Chinwo. So where is the cartel here? The pastors? How about your pastor? The one that had the contract. Is he part of your cartel? Because he was the one that was a witness. Now, I looked up the pastor, of course. It's not someone that is popular like that. But probably he should come out and say, indeed, if that is the contract that since he was a witness, if that is the contract that Mrs. Chinwo actually signed. Let's go on.
There is no way on the surface of the earth that you hear a label taking 50 and giving the artist 50. And I mean, we paid rent for 5 years. You didn't pay a dime. You don't have a receipt. We gave you cars for all the period. We expended 100% expenditure on your career. This is unfair. This is not the right thing to do. We didn't go to court. We went to court because I wanted to ask that my fundamental right. And why? Because every time I made efforts to see how we can sit down to resolve, the clergies refused. They said my attempt to want to have a peaceful resolution meant weakness, and I would not be bold enough to say, if I don't have anything else, I have my truth, I have my voice, and the world will hear.
The clergy's reviews. We don't know the clergies, so we need to know those clergies. But if it's the clergies that Sati was mentioning, maybe we'll discuss about that, of course, later. But I will understand the sentiments of those people that were reached out to by Sati when it comes to the whole issue with Messi Chinwo. Messi Chinwo herself said she had no issue with the 50-50%. She just discovered some things that were not supposed to be so. I would say, in my opinion, that Messi Chinwo would have just let go of this thing and then just leave, even though he would have wanted her to stay with the whole drama that they had or something. I believe what she said to a great extent when her counsel was writing, of course, on her behalf. I believe to a great extent what she was saying. But coming out as well to now speak like this, and this was before Messi Chinwo reacted as well, because this alone can force Messi Chinwo to react. It will look as if she's becoming like a slow poison. Yeah.
This is us at the court here at Federal High Court. I was told that I ran away and I'm here. This is Dr. Eezee Tee. We had also said the right thing to do is to go through an arbitration. When the audit collapsed because of the bias by the people who are supposed to handle it right, we now said, okay, let's explore what the contract provides, which is arbitration through the multi-law court.
But the contract, which contract? Is that the contract that she signed? Because she is saying that that's not the contract that she signed. So where is the contract she signed in 2017? Her carelessness of not having a copy of the contract is what I find interesting. She didn't say she lost the contract. She just said she had a copy with the pastor, her pastor, a mutual pastor. So it's just like saying the pastor called, okay, two of you come, sign this contract. But why didn't she think of getting a copy? Probably she was just... Let's do this thing. Just like the other person was doing MOU. From MOU, even himself. Pride. I would just say it's pride, I would say. He now left, not knowing that he was leaving something behind. Let's go on.
Where this platform brings an independent auditor, either from ICANN, that is neutral and not affiliated to any of the parties, to look into the books. I will publish all our books to the world to see. And let her publish hers as well. Let there be transparency to the world, since we cannot settle it privately.
You have to publish. Yeah, you can publish your books as well, so we get to look at. But what does she have to publish? She can only publish her account to show the amount that came from you. But that account might also have been used for other things other than money coming from bookings or something. Remember, it was Choma Jesus' intervention, like we saw in her post, that led him to allow her do her bookings by herself. And she claimed that he was always tracking and getting returns as well once they give honorarium from the bookings that she decides to attend. So she is saying that she remitted everything that came from the bookings that she attended, at least while she was there, before she left. Except maybe they have been tracking her and looking at anywhere she goes to perform. If she performed the songs that she sang when she was in Eezee Concept, then they would be like, okay, let's go for the money, or let's ask her for money since this is our song, or this is a record label song. I don't know if it makes sense what I'm saying. So this whole thing is it. But if all of you are Christians, church mind, all of that, contract is good, yes, of course. Behind the scenes, mago, I don't understand. He might have a reason for all putting his name everywhere. Okay, the level at which it is now, whereby people's image are now involved. For him to even post Judy K's parents and post her video on his Instagram as well, showing the parents praying for him and Judy K saying that he's this, he help her and all that. That was very, very. Just some people also be careful, because you might be somewhere now. Just look at what happened to the NHS situation when Daniels came and was saying what he believes, humanity, whatever. They play him video of when he was giving testimony of miracle. Receipts day. Be careful as well, because that's where we are right now.
What I will not take is to be twist. I would not be bullied. I would not be intimidated. No, I would not. It won't happen. Nobody has exclusivity or monopoly of madness. The law is the law, and it's clear. Regarding catalog, I've been threatened that they will put charges on me. They will put charges on me using the clicks and the connections that they have, and I won't have an option. And I won't have an option. But to relinquish the catalog, I must go to jail. But all sorts of.
As for the catalog, that one is not a question. Nobody should be talking about that. Anybody talking about catalog, that person's brain is not working very fine. But that he must go to jail. Looks like the thing that Eezee Tee was saying that Choma just said, But anyway, we'll look at that some other time.
Man of threats, and this is coming from Christians, people who call the name of the Lord. We are here to call.
You see, this whole thing is just a way to to brandish the whole thing. So you are singing, you that is the gospel, you that is the manager, why are you not transparent? If you were transparent with them, would this whole thing be happening? You are pointing one finger, how many fingers are pointing at you? But because you know that they are the brand, they are the ones, you are not a music singer, you are just a record label boss, so no matter, you get. It's not as if you stand before someone and be holding mic. They are the ones that their job is image branding. If your image is not in order, then you may not really go far. So Judy K will leave as well because of her image, her person. Will Mercy Chinwo back down as well for her image's sake, because she has to still be doing what she has to do when it comes to her music ministry. For you as well, you can sign 20 artists tomorrow and continue doing what you're doing. So I get the point. Let's go on.
And we have filed for a motion for the warrant of arrest to be set aside until it is clearly established if this is a civil transaction or not. And as God will have it, the judge and the court has granted that motion be set aside. I want to thank you for following this. Please pay attention to the truth. Don't be a fanatic. Don't say, oh, I love this person, I hate. No, pay attention closely to the sequence of what this has happened.
Yeah,
there are picture evidences, there are video evidences.
I'm paying attention to everybody. See, for us to even get to this point, we have paid attention to everybody. Okay? That's why I was giving you woto in the last video after I heard what you did.
There are contractual witnesses to this, and these people are alive. Let questions be asked. Don't be swayed by your love and emotions.
So saying that pastor, your name is there as witness. Just that he has to explain that particular document. He has not explained. I've been checking his Instagram. I'm not seeing him posting anything. So, okay, I have to explain that date. Because why are you not using your lawyers?
The emotional connection you have to the people who sing. Don't be deceived by religiosity. No, a lot of times appearance is not reality. Pay attention to the nitty-gritty of this. This event is going to unveil and unravel a lot of evil that goes on within the gospel ecosystem. My name is Dr. Eezee Tee, and I want to thank the members of press and the public for granting me here. On my left are part of members of my team, my legal department, and we'll have Barrister Isaac here, and we'll have Barrister Maxwell. Thank you so much, my lead counsel, Dr.
Why are they not the...
Obani San, Ife, and everyone who is a part of ensuring that this truth is cascaded to the world, and members of the public. Thank you so much.
Please allow some follow-up questions. First is, you said you reeled out a number of things that you did for Mercy Chinwo. Is this exclusive to her?
Sorry?
You reeled out a number of things that you did for her.
Yeah.
In your press release, you said you made her, you said you gave her a flat apartment.
Yes, please. Yes, please.
Is this exclusive to Mercy Chinwo, or
with respect to her contract?
Sir, look up, sir.
So that's the contractual obligation. From our own end, we're supposed to provide all costs. It's a 360 deal, which means a recording and management contract.
So I think I mentioned that as well when it comes to 360 deals. If you watch my first video, I think I mentioned that. Okay.
Provided all costs: production costs, housing costs, video costs, mobility costs. And we have the receipts and evidence for all of this. Yes. So yeah.
Is it exclusive to Mercy Chinwo?
It is not exclusive
to artists under your
It is
label?
exclusive to all the artists on the label.
Okay.
Yes, please. Herself and every other person that is part of this orchestrated conspiracy.
So all other artists enjoy.
They enjoyed it, yeah. Yes, please. Yes.
50-50 for every other artist.
Yes, so it's a 50-50 for her. And then it's a 60-40 and 40-60 for some others, and then 50-50 for. But at the end of the day, the ratio is 50-50, yes, based on the agreement.
Okay,
Yes.
sir. And then you said while you were in EFCC custody.
Yes, please.
You stressed
So you see that some people have lesser deals.
that it's a civil dispute.
Yes, please.
But they said they are dealing with
Figures
and
that I
they
shouldn't
want
talk about.
They want you to acknowledge that
I was
you owe her.
okay.
So how did it end?
The reason I stayed 9 days in EFCC is because they said to me that if I do not write what I am told to write, I would remain in detention. So because I needed to be free, it's my very first time being in the police station. I want to challenge the public that you will not find my name traced to any law enforcement agent anywhere in the world. I've never visited the police station before. I am a credible Nigerian. I do business and straight. But then I was told that if I do not write, compelling me to write in the manner I was being told to write, that I was going to remain in their custody. And what do you do? What do? You have to follow somehow. So under duress, I did the things that I did, and then I agreed to transfer a certain amount of money, of course, because the account was blocked. I didn't get the court order. Okay, $274,000 was made to be transferred to her, and then I said to them,
Lawyers say mention the money because when people, if you hear that money to do your guy, that's in 1 year. Some people, God. That money alone, you'll be like, Messi Chingo, look at this money. It's just for you to know that there's money. That's why I respect those who don't even get to charge, because they'll be okay with their streaming revenue on a day normally. So when it comes to their events they get to go for, they can decide to go according to the leading of God. It's not the money you are giving me that should motivate me to come. But if God wants me to be there, fine. Because they're already comfortable with whatever comes in from just streaming or whatever comes in from just publishing or something. Do you understand? So makes sense.
Are you making me to transfer money to her when she is not remitting or giving back what she owes? She owes the company a third album and a couple of singles. She has money she's boycotted into her.
We talked about the third album thing, and then she explained why that did not happen with respect to the delay tactics that was going on behind the scenes. Can she prove that? They will see.
Personal accounts that we're not aware of, she didn't give account of. She has events she had attended. We need this transparency.
But it's he who alleges that will prove, right? So if he's the one alleging that, he's going to prove that she attended this and she didn't give him this, because he's the one saying that, that she did this and then she didn't give. So you have to tell, okay, so what did she do that she didn't remit back? Because when it comes to her as well, she has said, oh, you didn't remit back this amount of money, so amount of money, and then you had to remit back that amount. But he's saying that it happened on duress. So maybe he's looking forward to getting his money back. But we saw what Mr. Chinwo said that money itself was for.
Transparency has to be both ways. So it's already one-sided. You're right. Ensuring that it just comes from we two, but because we're under a lot of pressure and we needed to be free, I had to concede to that. And that's what we went to challenge at the fundamental human rights.
All right. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Okay. Now I have one question. Personally, I can't wait for this thing to be over because I have many discussions, of course, to have with the audience here. But I'll still look at some other things I haven't looked at. There are some videos I have to react to, play, listen. But I had to come out as well here to talk about this because I want those in the music space as well to learn about this and understand that there are many ways, of course, you can make music, make money, of course, from music. We have the publishing so publishing is what I've discussed as well today. But when it comes to as well the actual song itself, the masters, that's a different conversation entirely. Okay, with the streaming platforms as well, depending on what distribution company, of course, you use, they get to handle that as well across all platforms and bring the revenue back, of course, to the label. So one thing that happens is that if the label are giving you an advance, let's say you're an artist, the label signs you, they give you an advance based on the things you want or something, money, car, okay, they invest in you. But before they get to pay you as well, they make sure they deduct, they recoup their investment, and then you start enjoying more. So yes, of course, there's a phase whereby they get to invest in you, give you money, give you this. Just make sure you are comfortable to make good music, and then when the money start coming in as well here, first of all, the music masters as well belongs to them. That is their real estate, that's their product. But the money they have invested in you, they will also be recouping it as well, small, even though you will still be earning from royalties and all that, like for life or something, the music. But the thing is now, when you now leave the record label, I think it's also good to still maintain that good relationship with your former labels or something. There's another one that is called the synchronization royalties, which is more about licensing, but it's a bit complicated, so I don't like talking about that one. But let me play this short video for you that gives you more like a bit of a summary of what we have been talking about here. Maybe you might understand better for those who are maybe music inclined. Listen.
Last week, I talked about the 3 types of royalties, which are mechanical, performance, and sync licensing royalties. And the week before that, I talked about the 2 copyrights of a song, which is the composition or songwriter's copyright and the sound recording copyright. Music royalties get so complicated is because you have to get paid out on both sides of the copyright. That's what I'm explaining today. I'm going to start with sync licensing because it's the most straightforward. You get paid out by the licensee, which is the person or entity that is licensing your music for their commercial, television show, video game, whatever. So mechanical royalties are paid out at a fixed rate for CDs or digital downloads of 9.1 cents per unit sold. And on the composition songwriter side, you'll get paid out by your publisher, your publishing admin, or song trust if you don't have either one of those. And on the sound recording side, these royalties will be generated by your digital service providers like iTunes and Spotify and paid out to your distributor like United Masters, TuneCore, CD Baby, DistroKid. So for your performance royalties on the composition side, they will be paid out by your PRO's Performance Rights Organization in America, that's BMI or ASCAP. And on the sound recording side, for your performance royalties, they will be paid out by Sound Exchange.
Okay, so that should be it, of course, in this video, and we'll look at some other things that I think is worth discussing. It's been a long one, but I hope you learned something one way or the other. Till I see you next time as well, tell me what you think in the comments. Do you think this whole issue, do you think I'm blowing this whole thing overboard? I'm not the one, I'm not blowing, I'm just discussing about it, and I'm making us learn from what is happening. And people as well, again, like I said as well, when it comes to the 50-50 deal that they had, if they had a 50-50 deal when it comes to like the distribution of the song, the masters or something, that 50-50 deal was very good, I would say. That's something I could say is quite commendable. And for her to be earning that amount of money, it is quite amazing. I'm not saying, oh, I care about the money she earns or something. I'm just saying that the 50-50 deal, if they had a 50-50 deal as well, record deal, that was a very good deal. That I will commend as well Eezee Tee for. Note as well, it's not all of them that have the same contract.